So this sneaker is a cool one. It came out in 2023, and the box is really cool for it as well. So it's like the Air Max 1 86. So this was a Tinker Hatfield silhouette that he created back in the 80s, and what happened was there was a version, which is this one, that had a bigger air bubble, and they sort of pulled that back because there was like a manufacturing defect with them and they couldn't get it to work. And the 87 model was the one that we actually ended up getting, that was then sort of subsequently released and had the sort of smaller air bubble in there. And with this one, it kind of goes back to the true origins of the 86 model and how that was created and developed. And this airbag is a Air Max unit is a lot nicer in my opinion. Not like majorly different, but it does feel more different on foot, and I think it feels similar to, I don't know if you've tried an Air Max BW or an Air Max 90, but this particular Air Max unit feels more like that, and there's like small nuances, but it feels more plusher and more sort of cushiony compared to the one that we actually got, which feels more sort of firmer. And also I like the paneling as well. It's slightly different to the 87 model, and you still got the Nike Air on the back, and usually you'd have sort of the different heel panel on the back as well. But apart from that, it's a really nice cool looking sneaker. It's just the Air Max unit that kind of really sort of speaks volumes, and it's just a classic in my opinion, and I just really enjoy wearing them just because of the fact that the simplistic nature of it, and the way that the panels sort of work together, and you can even nowadays sort of dress them up on a bit smarter. What I also like is the way the red is working on this one. It just works really well. I think my only issue with this is just the cheapness of the material, because this is like this felt material that's been used on the swoosh and on the sort of toe mudguard area, and for me that's like just something that's kind of more on the sort of cheaper side. The material on the grey side, the panels don't feel so bad. They feel a bit kind of softer and feel more nubucky. But this particular material on the mudguard, it's not great. So that's my only issue with this pair. The traction on these, because they're sort of 80s traction, they're also subpar. It's just okay. You wouldn't really be wearing this in sort of cold autumn winter time when it's sort of really wet outside. I just find that slip a lot on these. And just yeah, in general, it's just a cool sneaker. Definitely one to grab if you like your Air Maxes. So here are the details for the Nike Air Max 1 86 University Red. Comes in a University Red, white and neutral grey colourway, and it has a EVA cup sole with their airbag unit in the heel. It's mainly made up of mesh and synthetic materials, and the price was £145. So the comfort and sizing, these have I would consider medium to firm sole. There's a little bit of give in these, and because of the airbag unit being bigger, it means that you have a bit more compression. So it's more similar to, I feel, an Air Max 90, and it's slightly more on the comfortable side versus a standard Air Max 187. And however, because of the sole being slightly on the firmer side, it can get sort of fatiguing after a while, and the elevated heel can cause sort of tension on the forefoot if you're sort of wearing them all day. But this one isn't as bad as the 87s. I think they're a bit worse in my opinion because they're a bit more firmer. And you can go sort of true to size in these. I think true to size works for pretty much everyone. I tend to just go up half size because I just like a bit more room around the width area. But in all honesty, I can get away with wearing true to size as well in these. And I would say the sole isn't very good for sort of wet conditions. It's good for sort of spring, summertime, or dry walking, sort of thing, without any sort of wet terrain. So with the look and style, I think they have a classic design, and it's an Air Max 1 OG at the end of the day, so it's going to have that same sort of colour blocking as what came out originally back in 86 and 87. And these are, like I mentioned, they're better for sort of spring, summertime because they're made up of a predominantly sort of mesh material, and also I feel like because they're sort of more of the whiter colour, you don't really want to get these dirty either, and the traction isn't great for wet weather. And I think that nowadays, because these have a sort of slightly less busy look than other sneakers, and they're no longer used as runners and they're sort of more sort of retro wear, but I think you can dress them up sort of smart casual, but you have to be careful with the outfit, because especially with this one being red. But I want to see why not you won't be able to sort of wear chinos and a jumper, for example. And this goes great with sort of white laces anyway, and you can also try sort of red in there because of the red hits, and grey obviously. So with the final thoughts, I like the OG colour blocking. I've always been a big fan of that, and it's like a newly retroed 86 model, so it's just come out again, and it was originally released back in 86, and because there was a manufacturing defect with the airbag unit being that big at the time, they kind of had to make it smaller and release the 87 version. However, this one I feel is the nicer looking one in my opinion, because of just the Air Max unit being big and pronounced. And at the end of the day, it's a timeless trainer, so you can't go wrong wearing an Air Max 1. I think everyone should have one in their collection, as long as you get on with the comfort. And like I said, it has like a really big Air Max unit in it, so it just looks really cool. And in terms of the cons, I think the price is £145. I think for something that's near enough sort of 40 years old, 35 years old, it's quite expensive still. And the materials aren't great on this one. It's very cheap and feels very sort of mass produced. So with the rating, I give the look and style a 5 out of 5. In terms of its looks, I think it's just an awesome sneaker. It's a classic, and it's one of my favourite, if not the favourite, Air Max silhouette. And the comfort, I'm going to give this one a 4. I think it's more on the comfort side. I can't give it a 3 because it's the standard Air Max 1 87. It's probably more of a 3 in my eyes. With this one, like I said, it feels as comfortable as like an Air Max 90, and it's just improved. I wouldn't say it's like 100% different, but I feel there is a bit of a difference, and it's just a bit more nicer to wear sort of every day. And the quality, I'm going to give it a 4. I like the sort of styling. The panels are sort of neatly cut. Obviously you get a big airbag unit as well, but I think my only issue is just the materials used are not great. And the pricing, I give that a 4. It's just priced a bit too high, especially because I know it's a newly retroed model, but it's still sort of on a high price. But overall, I'm still going to give it a 5 out of 5. I mean, you can't go wrong with like an Air Max 1, especially being this OG and this sort of being newly retroed as a bigger bubble, and being University Red as well, which is the OG colourway. So you can't go wrong with this pair, and I think it's awesome.